on that stream. Make sure we get a good connection. Yeah, everything's on. Waiting on the video.
Ones and twos, we got some great news for you. There's a quick and an easy way you can save money. Switch to Geico. It only takes 15 minutes to see if you can save 15%.
Okay, welcome to the Wednesday Night Coaches Show and also the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Wednesday, September 4th. We'll be doing coaches shows this hour. This is the Tulane Coaches Show. And also we will have the LSU Coaches Show at 7 o'clock. So that will be on tonight as well. So that's part of the plan. We're waiting on the Coaches Show to come back on. We will have scoreboard updates during during the duration of those shows. So let's go ahead and go back to the Willie Frisch Show, presented by the Tulane IMG Sports Network.
Quarterback-driven league. Every rule has been put in place. All the money's been put in place for us to give us big passes down the field. Now, if I'm going to think like this. Let's just say for a reason that Kareem Hunt didn't get in trouble and his contract was up and Patrick Mahomes was up. Man, there'd be no doubt that Patrick Mahomes would get that money first if they was in the same situation as Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay, sorry about that. We have the wrong feed. We'll have to switch over. So we'll switch over to WRNO. So apologize for everything. We have a different feed. So we apologize. Let me go over to another stream. Back up 1 second. We go back to another stream. Make sure we go to the right stream. So we apologize.
So
waiting on the signal to come up, so we apologize. You had a little
where the Obama Presidential Library.
Okay, that's sorry about that. We have to go to we apologize. But just give me a few seconds. I'm gonna get this straightened out. We have we'll switch it back over to IMG Network. It'll be on TuneIn, so we apologize. So just please hang tight. If you on here, please hang tight. So trying to see if I can get the other server. So I know we got the wrong stream, so we apologize. So we'll get that stream in just a few moments. Let me get there. Make sure everything comes up right.
Technical difficulties. We apologize for the inconvenience. Your program will return in a few short moments. Please stand by. The station you're listening to is experiencing technical difficulties. We apologize for the inconvenience. Your program will return in a few short moments. Please stand by. The station you're listening to is experiencing technical difficulties. We apologize for the inconvenience. Your program will return in a few short moments. Please stand by. The station you're listening to is experiencing technical difficulties. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Okay, right now the station is experiencing technical difficulty with the stream. So once again we apologize on our side as well. That we something we can do about it. Hopefully, it can be resolved in a few minutes, and we'll have the coaches show. But once again we apologize. We're having technical difficulties at this hour, so it's we don't know what's going on. So just please hang tight, and we'll be back. We'll have a scoreboard update. Let's go ahead and do that while we wait for the Tulane IFG network to come back up. So we apologize for that system problem. It is on the Tulane side. So we're so we right now we're in a holding pattern. So please do not get upset. If you want to listen to the show, we will have it on as soon as we can get it on. So just please hang tight, and we'll be back in just a few moments. We'll go over some MLB scores while we're here waiting. Go ahead and do that. Okay, MLB scores at this hour. We'll zoom the screen back up a little bit. So let's see if we can get the screen. We'll see if we'll get the full screen in, the boxes. Okay, everything is in. Okay, MLB scores. The Rangers is scoreless, bottom three. Also, top three, it is the Reds up 5-0. Also, the Pirates and the Marlins tied up at 1. Also, it is the Indians up 1-0. Also, delayed in that game. It is scoreless between Minnesota and the Boston Red Sox. Also, the Mets won 8-4. At 6:45, in just about maybe 10 to 15 minutes, the Giants will take on the Cardinals. Also at 7:15, Detroit will take on Kansas City. Also at 8:40 Central Time tonight, it will be the let me get this screen out. So let me switch this over. So I know we're having a little problems right now with the once again technical difficulty. So the Angels will take on the A's, and also the Dodgers will take on the Rockies. So that is games that's going to be tonight. Once again, that's for MLB baseball. So we'll wait and see to see if they're back on. So we'll wait and see. Once again, they're having technical difficulty along the IFG network. So please, please be patient. We'll have this up in just a few moments. Let's see if they're back on. Let me check the screen.
The station you're listening to is experiencing technical difficulties. We apologize for the inconvenience. Your program will return in a few short moments. Please stand by.
So once again, they're still in the technical difficulty. We're still in a holding pattern. So please, once again, we'll go over some news headlines while we wait. So please don't get upset. I know it's I know you want to listen to tonight's coaches shows and stuff like that, but we have to they have to get the networks back up. So okay, let's go ahead and go over some headlines while we wait tonight. Okay, AB reacts to fine from the Raiders with the new helmet. Look, Antonio Brown. This guy, I'm going to tell you, he should shut the hell up and play football. Stop complaining about something you cannot control. this helmet rule's in there for a reason. You got to understand that, Antonio Brown. You got to stop being a crybaby and go and play football. You're losing money by being stupid. That's something you can't be doing. You're losing money. You're getting fined for those things. You got to understand that, Antonio Brown. I mean, look. Nobody likes the new rule. I don't like the new rule, but it's for safety reasons, and that's the bottom line. So once again, this is from Paul Gutierrez. You can reach him at ESPN. That's ESPN.com for more information on what happens. So let's go ahead and go over some more headlines while we wait. Once again, technical difficulty on the for the Willie Fritz show. At 7 o'clock, we will have the Ed Ergeron show. So we definitely will have a show there. We'll feed that over to the restream broadcast. It'll be safe then. So okay, let's go ahead and go over. Okay, Ezekiel Elliott on his $90 million extension. I believe I'm the best. Well, you have to prove it. You have to prove it. Day in and day out during the football season, you have to prove it. If you want to earn that $90 million, if you think you're so valuable, earn your pay. Ezekiel Elliott, earn your pay. That's what you have to do. Instead of you getting on there and saying you're the best and all that. Look, that's just illusion talk. That's just absolutely illusional talk. I mean, that's not reality. I mean, if you think you're the best, get out there and prove it. That's one thing you got to do. Get out there and fucking prove it. Ezekiel Elliott. So once again, this is from Tom Orchard. You can reach him at ESPN, ESPN.com. So he will get, I'm reading this thing, he will get $45 million guaranteed. He also will get a $14.3 million average salary. So, look, a lot of people out there that's busting their ass, trying to pay their bills and stuff like that, and you out here complaining, saying you're the best. Get out there and fucking prove it. That's what I say. Get out there and prove it to us. So once again, this is from Time Archer. So this is his base salary right here. Running to the bank. Salary bonus is $7.5 million. He also has a base salary of $752 million, 137. Also, he also has a base salary of $6.8 million. Also, $13 million option bonus. 2021 base salary will be $9.6 million. Also, 2022, $12.4. Also, his base salary in 2023 will be $10.9 million. Also, he will be his base salary for 2024 will be $10 million. Also, his 2025 base salary will be $15.4 million, and also $16.6 million. So that is the details on Ezekiel Elliott's new deal. It is so it is a good deal, but I think, like I said a few minutes ago, get out there and prove it that you're worthy. So once again, Ezekiel Elliott gets his new deal. So I think it's like I said, hopefully he does heed the warnings and do what he has to do. So this is from ESPN.com. See what else we're going to talk about tonight. While we wait for the coach, once again, we're back. We're still in a holding pattern. We cannot add the Willie Fritz show because we having technical difficulties with the feed getting up to IMG, up to the network. So, okay, Lakers Howard is blessed after hitting rock bottom. So, this is from Malik Andrews wonders the Dwight Howard showing up to play with the Lakers, how it would impact the team's drama-filled past. So I hope it does a positive start for Dwight Howard. I hope it is. I hope it is a positive start because look, this organization, and I'm gonna tell you right now, and I kid you not, this organization has been filled with drama all over the place. And I'm gonna tell you, look, in order for the Lakers to win, they have to kill the drama that goes into that organization, because that organization is going rock bottom year after year after year. You have to kill the drama and just play basketball, and your play will speak for yourself. So once again, this is from let's see, this is from Dave McManus. You can reach him at ESPN. Came out at 2:58 Central Time in the Central Time Zone. Okay, let's see what else we'll talk about. Okay, Kingsbury's still trying to get to read on Murray. That's what he's talking about. Cliff Kingsbury, he's the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Let's let you listen to him. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll stream this up, send this up to you.
Y'all have interviewed him, right? What does he usually give y'all? Yeah, exactly. It's the same. That's what he is and who he is. Like I said, he's thought he was going to be here his entire life, and so it's just the next step for him. And I've said it all along. He's a rookie quarterback in the NFL starting week 1. There's going to be some ups and downs. We're going to make some mistakes, and we'll work through those and continue to try and improve together. I think him having a grasp of what we were trying to accomplish from day one, offensively, the operation, the execution, similar reads, similar terminology at times, it definitely breeds confidence. It's not like he's coming in here trying to learn Chinese, as a lot of those.
Yeah, he's correct. Look, they're trying to get him a good read on him. Look, he's still a rookie quarterback in this NFL. It's going to take him a while to progress. But the truth of the matter is, I hope he does become a good quarterback for them, because they need somebody with his caliber to be a quarterback with the Arizona Cardinals, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I'm not one of these fans that's going to say Kyler Murray's going to be a bust and all that. No, but you got to look at it this way. He's going to have struggles. That's what everybody does. They have struggles. That's what they have. You don't have easy way outs in society. You don't. You don't have easy way outs. You have to struggle in order to achieve success. So I hope he does with the Arizona Cardinals. So Once again, this is from ESPN. This is from Josh Weisfuss. You can reach him at ESPN.com. That's ESPN.com. Okay, let's see what else we talk about tonight. I'm going to switch over. Okay, let's see what this is. Before we switch over to the Coach Ogeron show, which will be at 7 p.m. Also, Jets, Bell's ready to get to work. Don't hold back. That's what he's saying. This is his clip right here. We'll play his clip. I'm going to go ahead and play that video clip for you.
It's count. I gotta go out there and do what I gotta do to win the game, and I'm ready. It ain't like my body can't take it. You know, I mean, I'm out here. Obviously, be a lot of butterflies and anxiety and nerves and all types of things gonna be hitting me before I hit the field. But when I go out there, that first play is gonna be gone. I'm gonna be ready to play football.
Absolutely, he should be ready to play football. Look, he had that little incident with Pittsburgh and stuff like that, but now it's a fresh start in New York. It's a fresh start. So, I'll be honest with you. Look, I want to see him be the same guy that he was when he played with Pittsburgh and get those yards and stuff like that. So, without a shadow of a doubt, this is from Rick Cellini. You can reach Rich Cellini. You can reach him at ESPN.com. That's ESPN.com. So that's article on him. We'll go ahead and talk. Let's see what this is. Okay, sources. Running back Jafar Armstrong will miss at least a month with a groin and abdomen injury. He suffered on Monday season opener against Louisville. The Athletic first reported that. The injury on Armstrong, he underwent an MRI on Tuesday. Sources told ESPN the junior could miss up to 2 months, and so that's going to be the biggest key. Who is going to replace him while he is gone for those maybe 1 to 2 months and stuff like that? I'm pretty sure they have some good running backs that will replace him for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So this is from Adam Rittenberg. You can reach him at ESPN. That's ESPN.com. The next game will be September 14th. So they're gonna that's gonna be next Saturday. So they're taking on New Mexico. So they'll have some people. So I think Jones also. I'm pretty sure that most likely will be in that slot when once he comes back. Hopefully he'll be okay and stuff like that. So also Jamar Smith is also working the work words as well. So I'm pretty sure Notre Dame will be fine. Notre Dame will be fine. Look, I know a lot of people is going to scream and holler to the high heavens about losing a running back and stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is they got 2 good, capable running backs that could carry the load for that team. So, once again, this is from Adam Rittenberg. You can reach him at ESPN.com. That's ESPN.com. I don't know if the coaching shows are back on. We might not be able to have them on tonight. So once again, we will prolong the we'll preempt the Where We Fritz Coaches show. 7 o'clock we'll have the Ed Ergeron show, because due to their um, technical difficulties, we'll probably might not be able to audio sync them in. So we apologize for everything. So let's go ahead and move along. Let's do that. So I'm gonna be doing some news headlines until we oh shoot, I dropped the wrong box. Sorry about that. So yeah, so we'll switch over. So we'll switch over to the second screen. So the second screen is over on the other side. So everything's up. So we'll go to some news headlines from NOAA.com. We apologize once again for the technical failures and stuff like that. On the that's not our on our side. It's on their side. So we'll just move along, and we'll switch back over. So we'll switch over to the LSU Sports Radio Network once about close to about 7 o'clock. So okay, let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, thanking Super Bowl for Saints. Many expect 2,000 computers simulating say yes. Yeah, I agree with those computers, but as of right now, I'm not worried about the Super Bowl or anything particular. I'm worried about getting through this regular season. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about all that. All that's gonna come in the end. But the truth of the matter is, look, we gotta be healthy throughout the whole 17-game season. We just cannot sit here and say, "Oh, we're gonna be Super Bowl champions before week 1." Give me a fucking break. We're not. We still got games to play. That's the reality people don't realize. They want to get on there and do their little social media thing and say, "We're going to the Super Bowl," blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not the one that's going to say it. If we progress throughout the whole season, I'm pretty sure we have a shot to make it to the Super Bowl. We have to get to the playoffs first. We also have to win the NFC South Championship. So, look, with all this talk about the Super Bowl right now, it's just plain ass stupidity right now. It's not reality right now. So, I'm kind of on the fence about this. So, I know Peter King put out some stuff about it, but I'm kind of gonna just ignore it. That's one thing I'm going to do. Because look, you can say all you want that the Saints are going to make the Super Bowl. All these computers, all these 2,000 computers and stuff like that. Look, that's all simulated stuff. It's not. It doesn't reflect what happens on that football field on Sundays. So that's my take on it. This is from Staff Reports. You can go to NOAA.com. That's NOAA.com. Okay, Saints fans, you wanted a roster for Monday night. There are plenty of brands, new Texans. So that's going to be the key right there. It's stopping Deshaun Watson in that game Monday night. That's the thing we have to do, is stop him. That's something, look, he's a runner. He's a runner. He's also a thrower. So we have to be on our toes in this game. These games right here are not a given. Are not a given. That's the reality of it. I got to tell you the reality part of it. I can't tell you the fantasy island world part of it. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you the truth here. So, yep, this is Coach O'Brien. Yep, they're going to have some new rosters. We'll look at the depth chart and just when we do the breakdowns tonight, right after the Coach Ogeron show. So Stills, let's see, we're looking at it right here. Stills has 37 receptions, 553 yards, 6 touchdowns. So that's probably one of the players that's going to stand out for this team as well. So the Texans have not been active in such protests with players kneeling during 2 seasons. They're now deceased owner Bob McNair. But the truth of the matter is, this is going to be a very tough opponent in the Houston, Texas. They play us tough year after year after year. That's one thing about it. Sure, we might beat them in the end, but they play us tough. So this is from once again. This is from the Associated Press. You can go to the Associated Press website. So we'll be joining the once again. We'll be joining the LSU Sports Network for the Coach Ogeron show in just a few moments. Let's talk about Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn on Tulane. Those guys play their guts out, absolutely, and he's not wrong. Because they did play an absolute dominating football game last Thursday. That's one thing about it. Look, Auburn's gonna have we're gonna have a fight on our hands with Auburn. That's one thing. Sure, Auburn is favored by 18 points in the game, but the truth of the matter is, if we come out swinging and give this team a good game, then it speaks for itself. So, but if we go over there with all the hype and stuff like that around the game and mess up and stuff like that and get pre-snap penalties and stuff like that, it will show. So, I'm kind of concerned about it, but the truth of the matter is, look, I'm confident that this offense will thrive in this game. I'm very confident that this offense will thrive under Will Hall. So, for Tulane. So I'm kind of confident, a little confident going into this game, but I'm also have a lot of question marks going into this football game with Auburn this Saturday. Keon Howard, he did work with the first team offense in McMillan's absence. Fritz had piped a crowd noise in, including the Auburn band. Also, loud song. Look, they're going to have to adapt to that. You're going to a very fluid environment over there in Auburn. So you have to be on your toes because that crowd noise is going to be a factor in the game. So once again, this is from NOAA.com, also in association with the New Orleans Advocates. So let's go ahead and switch out, and we'll go to the LSU Sports Radio Network in just a few minutes. Let me do that, switch out, and we'll go over for Coach Ogeron's show, which will be in just a few minutes. So I'm about to switch it over. So let me get this in.
Get your own NetSpend Visa prepaid. Get paid up to 2 days faster when you enroll in direct deposit.
I get paid.
Coming up on the 1 minute mark until airtime on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Stand by for your 1 minute mark. Coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark 1 minute till airtime on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, they're in the station identification. We're waiting for the feed to come up, so they'll be up in a few moments. So let's give you some score updates before we do that. Before we start, let's we'll look at the screens. Okay, in the bottom of the fourth, it is the New York Yankees up 3-0. Also, the Reds up 5-0. Fourth inning. Also, third inning, it is tied up at 1 between Miami and Pittsburgh. Also, Chicago and White Sox and Cleveland tied up at 2. No score. Boston and Minnesota. Also, bottom of the first, it is the Giants. No score. Also, beginning to start will begin is Detroit and Kansas City. So that will be. Let's go ahead and switch into the LSU Sports Radio Network for tonight's Coach Ogeron show.
Coast to coast and around the world. It's time to talk LSU Fighting Tiger football.
To the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tiger!
This is the Ed Ogeron Show, presented by Hancock Whitney. Live from TJ Rebs, your weekly chance to hear from and talk to the head coach of our Fighting Tigers. The Ed Ogeron Show is brought to you by the 8 partners that represent Team LSU. Dogs, the official communications provider of LSU Athletics. McDonald's, official sponsor of the LSU Tigers. Our Lady of the Lake, official healthcare provider of LSU Athletics. Planet Fitness, official gym partner of the LSU Tigers. Rouse's Markets, official grocery partner of LSU Athletics. Coca-Cola, official beverage partner of the LSU Tigers. People's Health, the official health plan of LSU Athletics. And by Hancock Whitney, the official bank of the LSU Tigers.
Diving for it! Catch made! Down around the 22-yard line! First down, Tigers!
Now, standing by with Coach O from TJ Ribs on South Acadian and Baton Rouge. Here is the voice of your Fighting Tigers, Chris Blair.
Good Wednesday night, Tiger fans, and welcome in to the Ed Ogeron Show here at TJ Ribs. How about a great start to the 2019 season last Saturday as the Tigers dominated the Eagles of Georgia Southern, scoring early and often en route to a 55-3 victory to move to 1-0 on the early campaign. This week the Tigers go on the road over to Austin, Texas to face the Texas Longhorns, a battle of 2 top 10 teams. Longhorns come in this week number 9 after winning 45-14 over Louisiana Tech last week at home. And your Fighting Tigers are ranked number 6 in the country. Tonight, Coach and I will look back to week 1, some of the outstanding plays and performances. Then we'll look ahead to this week's preparation and a scouting report on those Horns. As always, we'd love to have you join the show. You can call in with questions for Coach O by dialing 225-578-4827 in Baton Rouge, or toll free at 1-800-315-8255 from anywhere you are tonight. You can also tweet us live at LSU Radio. We're talking Fighting Tiger football on a Wednesday night, and we'll be right back after this on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, the Coach Ogeron Show will be back in just a few moments. just a reminder, Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show will begin after the LSU coaches show. That will be at 8 p.m. So we'll be back on the air again. So we'll have the Saints breakdown as well. So I'm going to go over, finish those scores up for you. Okay. Going to the top of the second, it is the Giants and Cardinals scoreless. Also, still in the middle of the first, Boston and Minnesota is scoreless. Also 2-2 tie. So that's the scoreboard updates. Let's go ahead and see what we can pull up on ESPN while we wait for the coaches show to come back on. I'll be on in just a few, once again in a few minutes. They're going to a commercial break. Okay, college football. We'll show you some college football news, college football stories. Okay, bottom 10 just means more with Tennessee in the SEC. This is the bottom 10. This is from Ryan McGee. You can reach him at, once again, ESPN.com. They talk about these bottom 10 teams. UMass is once again 0-1. Also, New Mexico State is 0-1. Rocky Slop is 0-1. Also, SEC is 5th. Also, let's see. UCLA is boring. 0-1. Wow. They got some pretty crazy names. One of those is UTEP. That's one of them. So also Akron is 0-1. Myrtle Beach University, which is Coastal Carolina. I know it's all a bunch of fools and stuff like that. Put all these stuff, but hey, that's their okay. Also, Give Me Liberty is 0-1. So that's unfortunate for a situation like that, but hopefully they will bounce back. So we will return to the LSU Coaches Show in just a few moments. Let me go ahead and switch it out. The Ed Orgeron Show. Let's go ahead and do that.
Here we are at TJ Ribs. Remember, the official barbecue restaurant of LSU Athletics. Open late after games, located on Acadian Thruway and Siegen Lane. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, once again, I'm thrilled to introduce the head coach of your 1-0 and 6th-ranked LSU Fighting Tigers, Ed Orgeron. Coach, how are you?
Thank you, Chris. Great to be here. Great to see a great crowd. Thanks for everybody coming out. Just excited about our Tigers and the way we're playing.
Coming up, we'll take your calls. Again, the phone lines are open. We'll get to those. They're already lining up here on this Wednesday night. But, Coach, congrats on a really impressive start to the season. 55-3, the final score. Tigers came out looking ready to play. They were crisp in all phases of the game, which I know is always a big concern when it's the first game of the season. But a job well done by the entire program from top to bottom.
You know, I was really proud of our coaching staff. There's a lot of preparation going into the first game. Obviously, playing a triple option. Hold them under 100 yards total offense, 98 yards. Great job by Dave Aranda and our staff. Excellent job by Steve Ensming and Joe Brady in the offense. One of the best offensive performers I've seen since I've been here. Very crisp, very efficient. Threw the ball to 14 different players, no sacks. Led by Joe Burrow, who's an excellent quarterback. We're excited about the offense and the direction it's going in, but we have a big, stiff challenge this week, and I think we'll answer the call.
You promised a new style of a spread offense, and boy, you were not kidding. As you mentioned, 4 different receivers catching passes Saturday night. 5 running backs have a reception out of the backfield. Both Joe Burrow and Miles Brennan using the pass to move the chains. Had 350 yards of the 472 total coming through the air. 6 passing scores. The numbers tell the story for all of us watching the game, though. It was really fun to be there in Death Valley Saturday. And it had to be fun on the sidelines, too.
Yeah, it was great. Our guys were clicking, and you can see it Saturday in their eyes. You can see Joe Burrow, his intensity all day, the preparation that we had from the coaches. Our coaches were excited. You know, we played just like we've been practicing all camp. I was just proud of our team.
You've been involved in a few opening games over the years, and as the game was going on, I got to ask, what were your thoughts watching this offense work, especially in that first half when you were running that high tempo? The Tigers moving as fast as I've ever seen anybody in any league and do it so fluid moving down the field. And I know it was game one, but it looked like this team had been running this offense for a number of years.
It just reminded me of all the preparation. There were sleepless nights with Steve Ensminger staying in the office all camp, and him and Joe Brady working until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and the efficiency of our offensive staff and then the work of our players. Our players did a tremendous job. I just wanted to keep the pedal to the metal. I wanted to put as many points as we can and play it for 60 minutes, and our fans wanted the same thing.
Obviously, you have a strong passion for defense. The game plan on Saturday was perfect by Dave Aranda and his staff. The execution was near flawless, and I have seen a lot of option football in my time, and there are certain keys to stopping it. And for the majority of the night, your Tigers put a how-to clinic on stopping the Georgia Southern option attack, made them play in a phone booth.
Yeah, they're going to try to establish the dive, and we would not let them run the ball in between the tackles. And then we had a guy on the quarterback, a guy on the pitch, and we use our speed to run to the football. Dave Aranda may have put in about 18 different defenses to play against these guys, and we use one all night.
When you execute like that, you can do it.
And you got players, you got speed, they're in the right place, the techniques were right. I thought our tackling was superb for the first game. The way we made open field tackles, we're very disciplined on defense. Didn't let any balls over our head. Very proud of our staff.
All right, before we go to our first break, let's go out to the phone lines again. Fans, if you're out there listening tonight, wherever you are, you can call in with a question for Coach, 225-578-4827 if you're in Baton Rouge, or toll free from anywhere at 1-800-315-8255. Let's go to Fritzy now. She's been waiting probably since 6 o'clock on hold. Fritzy, you're on with Coach O.
Hey, Coach O.
How you doing, Fritzy?
I do great. Coach O, I want you to go to Texas, and Saturday night, I want you to beat the snot out of Texas, and I want you to turn them Longhorns into long faces, because there's only one DBU, and we all know where it's at, and that's at LSU. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Love you, Fritzy. Tell old Charlie.
One of these days you might bring Fritzy into the locker room, little pregame speech, get the guys fired up. All right, we're just getting underway here on a Wednesday night. Want to remind you to roar and score big savings on LSU football tickets at Subway with your LSU Cup promo code and Fierce Meal today. You can fuel up with a tasty sub, chips, and a fan-favorite 30-ounce LSU Cup. Let's go big all season. Limited time only at participating restaurants. Again, we've got much more coming up. Don't go anywhere. We've got more calls and tweets to cover when we return. This is the Ed Ogeron Show, presented by Hancock Whitney, and we are live on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, once again, the Ed Ogeron Show will be back in just a few moments. We have to mute the sound due to the copyrights and stuff like that. We don't want to have any problems with that, so just please be patient with us. We are. Let's go ahead and look at some more headlines on ESPN. So we'll do that while they come back. So let's see what else we need to discuss. This is something. This is interesting. Okay. Wait, that's me, Travis Etienne. Recording the embrace stardom at Clemson. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a pretty good article right here by David M. Hale. You can reach him at ESPN.com. Jim Segul was working at the annual Jennings High School softball tournament when he looked up and found Travis Etienne in front of him. That's one of the young, I think one of those players or something like that. He was an accomplished player with Jennings High School. It's a town 90 miles west of Baton Rouge, so that's in Jennings, Louisiana. So this is an article about him. I'm gonna tell you, look, this guy. Etienne, look, he should be he was, they said something about he was very accomplished and stuff like that. That's the thing about it. So this is a very interesting article. If you want to read it, you could go to ESPN.com, and that's him right there. Travis Etienne, he averages 8.1 yards per carry during his career with Clemson. He was a pretty good back with Clemson. So I kind of look at it this way. Look, that this guy right here, I'm pretty sure he'll make an NFL roster pretty soon. So once again, this is from ESPN.com. We'll go back to the Ed Orgeron show. Switch it back out. We'll go back in.
Goal to go from the 9. Snap to Burrow. Throws towards the corner. And there it is. Justin Jefferson. Put a Tiger 6 on it. Touchdown LSU. It's 20-0.
Taking your calls for the coach at 225-578-4827 in the Baton Rouge area or 1-800-315-8255 from anywhere in the country and live via Twitter at LSU Radio. This is the Ed Orgeron Show, presented by Hancock Whitney on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Back here on a Wednesday night at TJ Ribs, want to remind you fans you can enjoy the fun of tailgating without having to worry about setup or tear down. Sound like a good idea? Well, let Revelry Sports and Entertainment do all the work for you. Tailgate packages for the season and single game spots now available at the Oaks. Presented by Rouse's Markets. Just go to revelryteam.com/LSU, or you can call 225-244-9345. Coach, we just talked about the defensive performance on Saturday night, holding Georgia Southern to 98 yards, no touchdowns. They put 3 points up on the board. We're going to continue to talk about some standout individual performances, but let's go to the phone lines here. Ricky calling in from Birmingham. He wants to talk about a couple of positions. Ricky, you're on with Coach O.
Coach, how did the backup nose tackle and the starting offensive left tackle grade out? Grade out. Thanks, and go Tigers.
You know, I do believe Tyler Shelvin did very well. And then Apalaka has a ways to go. He's a little overweight, but I think he's going to be an outstanding football player. At left tackle, we thought that Medora Traore did pretty good. I thought that he showed that he can play in some games, but we're going to have Sadiq back this week, so I think we're going to be very strong there at that position.
Thank you, Ricky, for the call. Let's now go to David. David, you're on with Coach O.
Coach, congratulations. I've never seen a LSU team come out better prepared or ready to play more than I did last Saturday. I'm really proud of it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you.
No doubt about it. The Tigers were ready to go. You could sense it in the pregame as they were warming up. Coach, we talked about offense and defense, but the special teams unit looked in mid-season form on Saturday. Avery Atkins and Zach Van Rosenberg, they were superb, what you expect, taking the transition from last year to this year. And then your freshmen didn't look like freshmen. Of course, I'm referring to kicker Cade York, who was 2 for 2, 39 and 48-yard field goals, perfect in point-afters. And Derek Stingley Jr., as advertised, 52 punt return yards on the night. The entire special teams unit from, everything involved looked pretty good on opening night.
So proud of Coach McMahon. He is an excellent coach. I'm so glad that we have him on our staff. He's recruited all these kickers. Cade York was in our camp. He felt like he could do it. And he's had a tremendous camp for us. Some scrimmages, he was 8 out of 10. We feel good about Cade. We feel good about his strength. We feel great about Derek Stingley as a punt returner. And believe it or not, we left some things that we could have got better at. We can protect for him a little bit more. Hopefully we can get him to score some big touchdowns for us, and that'll be a game-changing play for us. Zach Van Rosenberg's punting the ball well. Field position was phenomenal. Great job by Coach Mack and all our special teams players.
One of the things you hear talked a lot about when you talk about spread offenses is execution inside the red zone, and I know it's something you've talked about for the last couple of seasons, needing to be able to score when you get there. How to be effective inside the 20. Again, in a spread where the space is a little bit tighter there. Seems like the field gets a little tighter. But LSU, as I mentioned, 7 for 7 in the red zone, had 7 touchdowns. You got to be excited when you see the Tigers had the ability to run to get in the end zone. They also had the ability to throw slants and screens and still find pay dirt.
You know, we practice more in red zone than we ever practiced this year. We start on Monday, we have a red zone practice. We hit it on Wednesday, we hit it on Thursday, we hit it on Friday, and we hit it on Saturday morning. And Steve Ensmig and Joe Bird, I love to go watch what we call Red Zone Skelly. I just like to watch the passing schemes down there. They're excellent. They remind me of a lot of the stuff that we used to do at USC with John Gruden with the West Coast, a lot of stuff with the Saints. I think they have an answer to most things, and Joe can throw the football. So it's going to be exciting to see our team in the red zone. I think we'll continue to improve.
Let's go back out to the phone lines. We got Jeff and Ponchatoula calling in. Jeff, you're on with Coach O.
Coach, I've been following LSU football for over 50 years, and I've got to tell you, this is probably the most prepared and best performance on offense that I've ever seen, and that's a credit to you and the rest of the coaches. Coach, I've got two quick questions for you. First of all, I read on the internet where middle linebacker Starks, from the freshman from John Eric, was cleared by the NCAA. Can you tell us if he's enrolled in school and if he's on the practice field? And second of all, I just wanted to ask you, are any of our running backs more suited to run against this Texas defense, or are we going to see all four of them again? Thanks a lot, Coach, and good luck to you.
Well, first of all, thanks for the compliments. 50 years of football, that's a lot. Thanks for being a great fan. Dante Starks is eligible. He's enrolled. He's going to school. He's going through an acclimatization period, which he can put his helmet on. He's got some training to do, some conditioning to do. It's going to take him a little while to get ready, but I think that he can come in and help us this year. He's a great player, and we're excited about that.
All right, thank you, Jeff, for the phone call. Coach, the wide receivers, a highly heralded group coming into this season. They were an integral part of the game plan on Saturday. As I mentioned, Jefferson led the way, 5 receptions, 87 yards, and a score. Terrace Marshall got his first career touchdown there in the second quarter. He liked it so much he decided to get the next 2 touchdowns for the Tigers. When you watch the film after the game, what were the staff's thoughts on, as a group, how they ran routes, caught the ball, and even blocked downfield when needed?
Execution. Very well coached by Joe Brady and Mickey Joseph. Those guys do a tremendous job with our receivers. I can see at camp the tremendous improvement by the drills that they were running. And the thing I was most impressed about, we caught the ball. And when you come to our practices, then not many balls on the ground. There's focus, there's intensity. What we want to do with these guys is give them the ball in space and let them make plays, and they did it.
You also promised a chance for us last week to see plenty of running backs in action. Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked really good as expected. Emery, Davis-Price, Fournette, and Curry all saw meaningful snaps in the game Saturday. Obviously that game got out of hand, but how much could we expect to see a bigger rotation like that moving forward this season, because you have a wide range of skill sets from each of these guys?
We're going to play all 5 of them, and all depends how the game is going. Clyde's our lead back right now. Leonard does things well. You've seen Chris Curry come in and be physical. Obviously, we know Tyron can be physical, and I thought John's first play let you know the athletic ability that he had when he made that cut. I was proud that none of those guys fumbled the football. The young guys can hold on to the football, so we plan on playing them all.
All right, we'll continue with more with Coach O. We've got a couple of phone callers to get to. You guys stay patient for us. Want to invite you to come experience the best pregame activities at Kuyon's Tiger One Village. You can listen to live bands at LSU Game Day presented by CST each week before kickoff for home games. Catch After 8 perform live coming up September 14th, 2 o'clock. They take the Budweiser Good Sports stage located in front of the Maravich Center before LSU takes on Northwestern State. Phone calls, tweets, and a scouting report on Texas. That's all coming up as we continue on the Ed Ogeron Show, presented by Hancock Whitney, live from TJ Ribs here on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, once again, the Coach Ogeron Show will be back in just a few moments. So they're in a commercial break, so let's go ahead and look at some more ESPN news headlines and stuff like that. I'm going to pull this up again. I'm going to give you a scoreboard update while we are waiting. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, tennis going on. Right now, it's in the second set. Right now, second set on the at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. That's in the U.S. Open finals. Beneteau Vintage wins 7-6, 6-3. Also, G. Monfield wins 6-3, but also the Berletti, I'm trying to say his name. He's an Italian tennis player. He won 6-3, 6-2. He lost the fourth set 6-3, but he won the fifth set 7-6. So the other one will start in just a few minutes, about 7:30. So, okay, let's give you some scores. At this hour, the Yankees up 3-0. The Reds up 5-4. Also, the Red Sox up 1-0. The Cardinals is ahead 1-0. No, Giants up 1-0. Excuse me, 1-0. So 1-0 Giants. That's in the top of the third. So that is the scoreboard updates. We don't have anything else to give you. So we'll go ahead and go back to the LSU Ed Orgeron Show, presented by the Hancock Whitney on the LSU Sports Radio Network. So let me switch this back in.
Picking up at about the 35-yard line, and eventually brought down is going to be Patrick Queen, who picked it up on the hop. Rashard Lawrence knocks the ball free.
We're back on the Ed Orgeron Show, presented by Hancock Whitney from the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Having fun here on a Wednesday night as we do each and every week. If you didn't make it this week, well, we'll forgive you. You can show up next week as we get ready for LSU football each and every Wednesday here at TJ Ribs. We're visiting with head coach Ed Orgeron. The Tigers 1-0 on the season. They travel to take on Texas this Saturday evening in Austin. Again, kickoff somewhere in the neighborhood of 6:30, 6:40, 6:45. We'll just have to wait and see. But we will be there and have the coverage for you when boot meets ball. Let's go out to the phone lines as promised tonight. Phone lines backing up, trying to get to them as quick as possible. We've got Elizabeth on the line. Elizabeth, you're on with Coach O. Elizabeth, you there with us?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. You're on with the coach.
All right. Last week, LSU's run-to-pass ratio was 46-54. Usually, LSU would run the ball more. Do you plan on keeping it equal or passing more since we have Joe Brady?
Well, it all depends on the course of the game, but overall, we want to be 50-50. We're always going to want to run the football, be physical. Sometimes we're going to run the football to open up the pass. Sometimes we're going to pass to open up the run. It all depends what the defense is giving us. But when you look at the end of the season, we would like to be 50-50 run-pass.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for the call. Let's now go into enemy territory, at least for this week. We've got Scott calling in from Spring, Texas. Scott, what do you have for Coach O?
Hey, it's an honor. Nice to meet you all, Coach O. I'm a big fan. Hey, I work in your neck of the woods in Port Fourchon, so just give you a shout-out to Blue Oaks.
All right, man. Way to go.
Hey, I got a question. Oh, also shout-out to dandydon.com. I don't know if you read that, but it's a great website. But I want to know what the DBU T-shirts that Texas says they will wear for their warm-up this week.
You know what? I don't worry about that stuff. I know we LSU, and we're proud to be LSU.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what he does.
In fact, I'll go one step further. Just go back, look at the stats over the last, 5, 10, 15 years, and you'll get your answer there. Thank you, Scott, for the call. Let's go out to Charlie. Charlie calling from Colorado. Charlie, what do you have for us?
Oh, man, been looking forward to this game for 3 years, Coach. I'm just, I can't wait. I may wet my pants before Saturday. I don't know. I'll try not to. I've got a question about the wheel route. In particular, John Emery. It seems like maybe you guys ran it Saturday. I didn't notice if Clyde or John, either one, ran the wheel route. But John Emery has a miss ability. You put him one-on-one out there on the wheel route with the DB, and I think it's a big play. Just wanted to throw that out there and get your thoughts on the wheel route in general as it pertains to LSU's pass receivers. And go Tigers.
All right. Well, Charlie, enjoy the game, and make sure you control yourself before the game. And we want you to be healthy, okay? And thanks for your enthusiasm. But, hey, I love the wheel route. We had a young man at another school. His name was Reggie Bush. His name was number 5. And we'd widen him out and run the wheel route, and he was very successful with it. I think John can do the same thing. We do have the wheel route. We didn't have to run it last week, but if the coverage dictates that we can run it, we can get him one-on-one in a mismatch. I do believe you're going to see it, and see it a lot this year.
Thank you, Charlie, for the call. Coach Jacob Phillips, Damone Clark led the way at linebacker Saturday night in that 55-3 win with 10 and 9 tackles, respectively. Kayvon Chasson was all over the field. Patrick Queen played well for you. This week you've got Michael Divinity coming back into the fold, and I know you were asked about it Tuesday in your press conference, but how do you see the playing time for those 5 and other linebackers that you have, not just this week, but moving forward?
First of all, we're proud of them. We lost Devin White, and we have to fill in some big shoes, and those guys played tremendously, and Dave did a great job of rotating them. I think you're going to see some guys in a certain situation, some guys that are down in distance. We're going to have to keep them fresh. We know what the weather's going to be like on Saturday night. We're going to rotate our guys, but I'm telling you, I'm so excited about the player Damone Clark. He has developed into an outstanding LSU linebacker, big, strong, and physical, and a great kid. So, having Kayvon Chasson at the outside linebacker gives us a rush. He didn't get to rush as much as he wanted to last game because they weren't throwing the football. But there's going to be a lot of drop-back pass with this great Texas quarterback we're going to play, and he's going to be a key to the game.
We talked about your nose tackle and Tyler Shelvin earlier in the show. I want to talk about the defensive ends, Neil Farrell and Glenn Logan. Really good job keeping Georgia Southern's option attack in that phone booth, as I mentioned, all night long, and allowing the other playmakers, of course, at linebacker and even your safeties to make plays. But both looked really impressive in the ball game.
Yeah, I thought those, the first play, Glenn was playing a 4 technique, and he got a cutoff block, and the back went right in his hole, and he stopped it for no gain. And Tyler Shelvin calls double teams all night. Neil Farrell was very active. I think that Rashard Lawrence is playing his best football right now. He had the sack fumble. We did a great job of not letting them run the ball in between the tackles. I told Rashard that I think that he's practicing at a high level, the best I ever seen him at LSU. He's going to have an outstanding year. So we feel like we're better on the defensive line. We're strong. We have some depth there. Again, we have a challenge this week, and we're looking forward to it.
Last season, towards the end of the year, you and I talked a lot about on this show, Jacoby Stevens really finding his rightful place on the defense. Had 7 tackles Saturday. Compliments Grant Delpit so well back there, as well as your linebacking core, because he can play against the run and the pass. Now with so many games left here in 2019, how big could his upside be before all is said and done?
I think he is going to be a high draft choice. Pound for pound, he's the strongest guy on our team. He's a great pass rusher, outstanding young man. The closer to the ball he gets, the more dangerous he is. He's hard to block one-on-one. We can use him in so many situations. Outstanding athlete, great young man.
Not a lot of passes seen or even expected last week in Week 1 against Georgia Southern. We kind of know what Chris Fulton will bring to the table based on his past experience and performance. But when you guys looked at the film watching freshman Derek Stingley Jr., what stood out about his play when he lined up at cornerback as his first game as a Tiger?
Poise. Just like he's been there all his life. Worked his technique. Nothing bothered him. I thought the young man played outstanding.
Really, before we go to our next break, let's go quickly to Mac. He's calling in Alexandria, been waiting patiently. Mac, you're on with Coach O.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah?
Hey, Coach, this is Mike Kessler from Alexandria. You doing all right?
I'm doing great. What's going on in Alexandria?
Oh, man, look, hey, we're praying for you and praying for them Tigers.
Thank you.
Coach, look, this is what I got this year. Last year I gave you a hard time, but look, you delivered on all your promises to me. Man, we got the fast-paced offense. Got receivers catching the ball like crazy. That's so impressive. I got the offensive line that's blocking great. We got the defensive line that's getting penetration. We got some new coaching there that's doing some things. And the signing class was phenomenal, Coach. I mean, phenomenal. Man, you wrapped up Louisiana better than anybody's done in the last 16 years.
Thank you.
All right, Mac. Thank you, Mac. Thanks for the call. 55-3, LSU takes care of business in week one. Now a step up to a big stage where all eyes around college football will be watching close attention to Austin, Texas this Saturday night. Coming up, we'll take more of your calls, questions from our audience up next, and later we'll get the scouting report on the Longhorns after this quick break. This is the Ed Ogeron Show presented by Hancock Whitney. We're live from TJ Ribs on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, the Ed Ogeron Show will be back in just a few moments. Once again in the commercial break, so they'll be back in just a few moments. Once again, let me reiterate what I was posting on the Restream chat room and also the Facebook chat room. Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show will begin right after the Coach O show. That will begin right after the end of the show. We'll start the show. We also will have Saints breakdown tonight. Saints versus Texans this coming Monday night. That will be a 6:10 game. That'll be on ESPN. So we'll have the breakdown and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and give you an MLB scoreboard update. We'll give you a full scoreboard update while we wait for the show to come back on. Let's go back to the scoreboard. About to do that in 1 second. Let's switch this over. Waiting on the scoreboards to load to the computers. Okay, top of the sixth, it is 3-0 Yankees. Also, Reds up 5-4. Top of the sixth. Also, top 5, it is the Pirates up 2-1. Also, in the bottom of the fourth, it is the Indians up 3-2. Also, the Red Sox up 1-0. Bottom of the second, Giants still up 1-0. Top of the third. Also, it is Detroit up 3-0. That is in the top of the second. Also, final score on Wednesday getaway day, it is the Mets winning 8-4. So that was the scoreboard update. So let me see if we got anything else we need to discuss while we're waiting for the scores. Okay, what game going on? That is the WNBA. We'll give you a WNBA score update. Waiting on the scoreboard. Okay, it is Connecticut up 73-46. That's going to the fourth quarter. So it's 73-46. Connecticut Sun playing against Dallas tonight. So once again, we'll go back to the LSU Coaches Show on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
7-yard punt and a return of 32 yards by Derek Stingley. And that's a pretty good debut for the true freshman out of right here in Baton Rouge.
We're back on the Ed Ogeron Show, presented by Hancock Whitney from the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Back here on this Wednesday night, where we are each and every Wednesday of the college football season with the Ed Ogeron Show, presented by Hancock Whitney. The Tigers headed to Austin, Texas. It's going to be a big showdown over there at Texas Memorial Stadium. Kickoff set for 6:44 Central Time between the Longhorns and your Fighting Tigers. Time now to have questions from the crowd. Of course, every week, live questions brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. Tiger fans, whether it's at the tailgate or the watch party, keep it crisp with an ice cold Bud Light. Tigers were crisp in all phases last week. Let's see what our questions are tonight, Coach, and we'll start with Belle. Belle, you're on with Coach O.
Hi, Coach. I was just wondering if during the Texas game we're going to see more of the running backs instead of like one going for an entire drive, if we'll see more of it like them spelling each other out.
That we could do that. You know, there's different things that different plays with different running backs. That is in the game plan, so I think you may see that this week. It's a good question.
Thank you, Belle. Thanks for the question. Now we go to Charles. Charles, you're on with Coach O.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on last week. It was a great atmosphere in Tiger Stadium.
Yes, it was.
My question is I know y'all grade the offensive line. Who graded the best in your opinion? Maybe not on grade, but who played the best in your opinion?
I was happy. Damian Lewis, did a good job. I thought that Benora Charles did a good job. Adrian McGee did some good things. He came in and did some good things. Obviously Lloyd Cushenberry is solid, so those guys were solid up front. I was pleased with the play of the offensive line, but again, we're going to get tested this week.
Thank you, Charles, for the question. Now it's time for story time with Evil Twin. Everybody gather around. It's yours.
Tom Herman. So we meet again. Oh, the irony. Here in South Louisiana, Tom, we have put out a table, and we put a can of Spam on the table and a large plate of crawfish etouffee, and it takes you more than 30 seconds to figure out what you want. It's time to take the damn crawfish etouffee away from you, because you're too damn dumb to know the difference. Coach Schembechler said it best. He said, I want a Michigan man coaching my Michigan team. And that's your problem, Tom Herman. You know what? You play games off the field, but we got a Louisiana coach that likes to play games on the field. So, Tom Herman, let me tell you this. Your order of korma will be promptly delivered at 6:30 on Saturday night. Enjoy your Spam. Coach, I have a question.
You're the best.
You talked about York, our field goal kicker. He did a great job. I wanted to ask you two questions about it. Number one, he did a good job in the game. How has he been as far as consistency throughout practice?
Yeah.
And also, I know you used to always say 52 yards for our last field goal kicker.
Yeah, right.
What's the range on York? What do you feel comfortable with?
About 51 yards. About 51, yeah. And he's been consistent with that. 2 scrimmages in a row, he was 8 out of 10. He was 80% on his field goals, and the longest was 51 or 52. So he's been very consistent. But you got to be consistent in the games. And the crowd's going to be something else. Our crowd was great, but I think he answered it well. He's going to have to make a pressure kick, and maybe this week I think he can do it. Yeah.
All right, thank you all for the questions here tonight. Once again, brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, keeping crisp with an ice cold Bud Light. Before we go to break, Charlie calling in from Lafayette. Charlie, we got to get to a break quick. You got to make it fast,
all
my
right.
friend.
Great deal, Coach. How you doing? I just finished working a football game myself, so I'll make this real quickly. I want to talk about the play. Some of the freshmen like Mo Hampton, Devonta Lee, Trey Palmer, some of the newer players, and I saw they got some snaps, and I do want to give you kudos. You always step outside your comfort zone, and that's why you're a great coach.
Thank you.
So, take care, Coach.
Thank you so much, Charlie. Listen, we want to play all our young freshmen, give them a chance. And, we can play up to 4 games. They can still redshirt, but Mo Hampton, Devontae Lee, Trey Palmer, they're excellent football players. And the more reps they get, the better they're going to be. I'm glad they're Tigers.
All right, let's squeeze in Joe from North Alabama. Joe, real quickly for Coach O.
Well, I'll try right quick. Coach, obviously I'm from North Alabama. I'm a big Alabama fan, but that's beside the point. When you're not playing Alabama, I'm LSU all the way. Just want to let you know that, and I just want to thank you for bringing LSU back to prominence in the SEC, and I really appreciate what you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you for saying that, Charlie. Go Tigers.
All right, thank you for the phone call. All right. 55-3 was the final score. When we come back, we'll start the scouting report from Coach O. Find out what he knows about the Texas Longhorns, who the Tigers take on this Saturday night in Austin. Stay with us. More to come. The Ed Ogeron Show, presented by Hancock Whitney, here on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, also, LSU Coaches Show is in a break right now. Once again, if you want to ask your question about LSU football, I'll gladly answer them. As best as I can. You can come in, post your questions via Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. But if you want to ask Coach Ogeron the question, you have to call their shows, because this is strictly listening platform right here. But if you want to ask me a question about it, go right ahead. You can do that. Feel free. But if, like I said, once again, if you want to ask Ed Ergeron a question, you have to call the call-in show. They're a call-in show. We're not a call-in show. We're just a video show. So just please heed the warnings. Okay, let's go back to what we was talking about. Okay, we was on the let's go ahead and see what's going on the ESPN.com before we break for tonight. Okay, I just talked about these headlines. I'm trying to see what else we got going on. Okay, once again, third set for let's see, the Canadian. That's Andrea Siu. That's, I'm trying to say a name. She is. They're both playing right now in the tennis tournament. That's in the U.S. Open. If you want to see that match, you can go to once again ESPN. Watch ESPN. You have to have Watch ESPN in order to access that feed. Okay, let's see what's going on. Everywhere else in the sports world. Let's see what's going on. So let's see if we got any NFL news. I talked about Ezekiel Elliott already, so we did. So let's go ahead and go back to the Ed Ergeron show. They should be back in a few seconds. So once again, we have about 15 minutes left in the show. Once again, you want to post your questions about LSU or any sports topic, you can feel free to post your comments and also your questions about any sports topic. Feel free to post it through the Restream chat room. That's for Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. So we'll go back to the LSU Sports Radio Network's Ed Ergeron show. Once again, we'll be breaking down the Saints versus Texans on the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show immediately following the Ed Ergeron show.
Their bowl contest. This matchup will pit the border states of Texas and Louisiana against each other once again in college football. Airtime here begins on the network at 4:30. LSU Game Day with former Tigers Marlon Fabright, Brandon Taylor, and your host Hunt Palmer. Going to be live from the Renaissance Hotel here in Baton Rouge. You can stop by and say hello, and then former Tigers Doug Morrow and Gordy Rush will join me from Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin for kickoff at 6:44 Central Time for Texas and LSU. Coach, as I mentioned earlier, Texas picked up the win over Louisiana Tech last week, but on offense, it really starts with junior quarterback Sam Ehlinger, a hometown product of Austin, sports a 9-to-1 touchdown to interception rate, 27 passing scores, 3 interceptions over the last 14 games, set the school record for rushing scores by a quarterback last year with 16, 7th all-time in school history for 6,384 yards of total offense. Basically, he's important to what they do. What must the Tigers do to minimize the best possible, or at best, I should say, the damage he can do with the football?
You know, he's a good thrower. We're going to have to be in coverage, make him throw the short throws and tackle in space. The thing that we can't let him do is run around, especially if they start to run the zone read option, the quarterback power. He's like a tailback. We're going to have to tackle him. The thing that he does best is scramble. And when he starts to scramble, we're going to have a pocket around him, use our speed, tackle him, not let him make big plays. When they get in the red zone, he's going to have the ball in his hands. They're going to run a quarterback power, quarterback draw. He wants the football, and he wants to score, and he's hard to tackle.
Sophomore Keontae Ingram leads the running back group for the Horns, a group that has been decimated early this season so far as injuries are concerned. But Ingram packs a pretty solid punch. He rushes, he catches passes. Last year had 708 yards on 142 carries. 3 touchdowns in his freshman season, had 11 carries for 78 yards with 3 receptions for 43 yards in the opener last week. How does he operate in this Texas run game, and what style of rushing attack do they present?
You know, we recruited Keontae, so I know him. I know him very well. He's a great young man, solid back, reminds me of Darrell Williams. That type of back, maybe a little bit faster, solid. will run inside, can run outside, good pass protector, hard to tackle.
A lot of 6'3", 6'4", 6'6", and 6'7" receivers on this Texas team. And while Devin Duvernay stands at only 5'11", he leads this group. Duvernay had 9 receptions last week, 4 in the opening drive that ended with a 4-yard touchdown catch. He's got over 1,137 yards in his career. Sophomore Brennan Eagles at 6'4" had 2 scoring receptions. Your defensive backfield certainly have to be locked in on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to be fired up for the challenge. They know that they're playing against an excellent receiving corps, big guys, fast guys. We have to cover them. We have to go man up on them sometimes. We have to go zone. I know Dave's got a good plan. These guys are going to answer the challenge, but we have to get a great pass rush. We can't let the quarterback sit there all day with all the time that he needs. It's going to take all 11 to stop this offense.
Speaking of that matchup, let's go out to the Twitterverse at LSU Radio, taking live tweets. This one comes from at Leland Laborde. Coach, when Texas lines up in trips, which defensive player has the inside slot receiver when he drops back and takes the swing or screen pass?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that all the time, but, we have, Grant Delpit could be there, Kerry Vincent could be there, our nickel corner usually is lined up to the trip side, so one of those fast guys are going to be there to take care of that.
Last year, Texas, Coach, was 14th in the country in third down efficiency at 46%. Last week, 8 of 15. On third down against the Bulldogs, 53%. It's always critical. We talk about it each and every week. But allowing Texas to stay on the field at home can make things awfully tough.
We practiced today. Today was third down day, turnover Wednesday. We looked at extensively at their protections, the things that we need to do, their pass routes. What do we need to do to contain their quarterback? We had a great work on it today. I do believe we can get a rush with Keleman Chesson on the edge. I'm looking forward to it. See what happens.
All right, we got much more to come in our final segment with Coach O this week on the show. We'll continue to get the scouting report on the Longhorns. We'll talk about their defense, as this is the Ed Ogeron Show, presented by Hancock Whitney, live from the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, once again, they're back in a commercial break. Holding pattern. They will be back in just a few moments. Just 10 minutes left in the show. So that is what's happening as of right now. So let's go ahead and go back to let's see. This is Bill Barnwell's article about all 32 teams can win the Super Bowl. This is from Bill Barnwell. You can reach him at ESPN.com. It came out at 7:15 Central Time at just about close to 45 minutes ago. This is what I'm showing you on the screen. So I'm going to be honest with you. Any team can make it. Any team. Despite the Saints. Any team. I'm not trying to be hating on the Saints. I love the Saints. I cover this team on a daily basis. But the truth of the matter is, you got so many teams vying for the Super Bowl. And that's one thing about it. And you got parity in the league. That's what you have. Parity in the league. I mean, there's no win one and pick one and all that stuff. There's a lot of parity going on in the league. So without a shadow of a doubt, they have Miami at 3.9%, so I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl. Washington at 8%, Arizona at 3.6%. So it goes. We'll go over this list probably later, because we want to finish up the LSU coaches show tonight. So let me go ahead and switch back over, because they come back quick.
Event for the next 2 years. Tickets include football, men's and women's basketball, gymnastics, baseball, and softball. Be there for every magical Tiger moment with LSU Golden Ticket. To register, go to HancockWhitney.com/LSU-Golden. That's HancockWhitney.com/LSU-Golden. The Hancock Whitney Golden Ticket. Register today for your chance to get golden. Handoff, Fournette got a crease. Fournette dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers! 3-yard touchdown run, Leonard Fournette.
LSU Sports Radio Network.
Back here as we wrap up this week's show. Coach, we continue to talk about the matchup Saturday night in Austin. Going to be a great one, great stage. I know the coaches are fired up about it. Obviously, the players, this is why they come to LSU to compete in these type of games. Last week, the Longhorns, as I mentioned, got the win through a shutout through 3 quarters against Louisiana Tech. However, Louisiana Tech moved the ball up and down the field. Texas gave up 413 yards, 340 of that through the air. Bulldogs did have 3 costly turnovers, and they just couldn't find the end zone most of the night. But overall, when you watch the film, how would you describe the characteristics of this year's Texas Longhorn defense?
Fast, really fast at linebackers. Caden Stern is one of the best safeties we're going to see. Obviously, we have a great safety. Outstanding tall linebackers with speed. Good rushers up front. They're going to look the part now. They look like an NFL team on film. These guys are big, fast, and physical, very strong at the point of attack.
You mentioned Caden Stern. He and Jeffrey McCullough led the way. McCullough with 8 tackles. Stearns had, along with Brandon Jones, their safeties had 15 stops. And I wanted to talk about the Longhorns up front defensively. They average about 310 pounds along the starters. What do they do that's so effective that allows their teammates, like the linebackers and some of those up front safeties, to make plays?
They play with good technique. They're big guys. They're physical. They play a 3-4 defense. They slant. They're in the backfield a lot, making negative plays, tackles for loss, very athletic.
Let's talk about the turnover game, and that's something you talk and stress every week, every opponent. Both teams coming out of week number 1, Coach, +2 in the turnover margin. It's always key, but in these games, how big will it be, either losing a possession or gaining a possession?
It's so critical, especially on the road. We have to win the turnover battle. I want to give kudos to our team. Georgia Southern was +22 in the turnover ratio, and we beat them +2. So that was a great job by Coach Sapp and our team. We're going to have to cause turnovers. We're going to have to take care of the football, especially in critical times, a critical position on the field.
I know last week we talked in the early part of the show about opening games, whether it be at home or on the road. You're looking for the team to minimize mistakes, minimize penalties, minimize turnovers. And for the most part, LSU able to do that, looked very crisp in all phases of the game. Now you take this team on the road. True road trip. Got to travel well. My experience with you and the Tigers is you guys travel extremely well, highly organized. But what are you going to plan to do with this type of stage going over there on Friday to make sure you guys are busy, no downtime, and get ready for the game?
Go through the process. We get to the hotel, we eat, we lock it down. We have meetings. We put them to bed at 10 o'clock. We have a recruiting meeting with the coaching staff. They're tired. We go to bed. We wake up and have breakfast. We have a nice hour walkthrough. We have the guys with us all the time. They go back to the room. We have more meetings. We keep them occupied the whole day. I tell them, turn off the TV, turn off the Twitter machine, focus in on the task at hand tonight, save all your energy for 6:44 Central Standard Time, and I think they're going to do that.
Let's go out to Twitter once again before we wrap things up. We've got Jeffrey writing in, Coach, with the heat index possibly being the 100 range or near the 100 range on Saturday evening. Has that changed your game plan in all 3 phases of the game, or at least in preparation of the game?
We don't blink. We don't blink. No matter what the circumstances are, we don't blink. We've been in them circumstances before. We've practiced in them. We act like we've been there before. We're going to rotate our guys. Don't blink. We use the heat to our advantage.
One of the things that I thought was interesting, you talked about yesterday during your press conference, is all the outside hype for this game. And I mentioned it. It's my job to mention it. It's a big stage. College Game Day is going to be there, which is interesting. This is the 28th time LSU has been involved with a game surrounding College Game Day. And obviously, there are recruiting battles that LSU and Texas have year in and year out, and they will continue to have those. But I like the fact that you said to your guys, and you've preached this week, it's about what 11 guys do on offense, 11 guys do on defense between the lines in this game Saturday.
Yeah, all of that stuff is good. It's great for the university. It's great for recruiting. It's great for the fans. But for me, I turn it off. I'm focused in on the task at hand. What we're going to do when that ball is kicked off, we got to execute. We got to play LSU football, be physical. When we get on that plane, we're going on that plane for one thing and one thing only, and that's to win the football game, and that's it.
You know, it's interesting. You talk about in spring football, you talk about in preseason camp, you talk year-round about blocking out the noise. Yeah. This has to be the perfect example of a week where the team has to block out the noise. How have they handled it this week?
I think they've been fine. You know, Tuesday was a hot practice. We went as Crystal, we wanted to be on Tuesday, but they came back today, very focused, ready to go. Leadership guys were talking. Tomorrow's going to be no repeat Thursday. I look forward to going on the road with this team. We got some great guys on the team, great coaching staff. We're going to have a tremendous trip.
Real quickly, what's the plan tomorrow for Thursday before you travel on Friday?
No repeat Thursday. Short yardage goal line, red zone, 2 minute. We have a thing what we call winning ends. We go over situations. We go over every situation in special teams. We practice with helmets inside. Friday we have an extensive walkthrough. We just go through the process.
Congratulations, Coach. I had a great time on Saturday night. I want to thank you personally. I think everybody else here would do the same. Congrats on the start of the season. Best of luck in the preparation, and we will see you Saturday night in Austin. Go get them.
Thank you, guys. Go Tigers.
All right, that's going to wrap up this week's show. Of course, my thanks to head coach Ed Ogeron. I want to thank our on-site engineer Stan Catrone, as well as Joe Jackson. And, of course, the straw stirring the drink back at Network Studios, the maestro, Don Molino. I want to thank you for joining us as well here at TJ Ribs and listening wherever you are. And until this coming Saturday night, when we greet you from Austin, Texas, kickoff 6:44, Texas and LSU, this is Chris Blair saying so long, everybody, and go Tigers.
Okay, that concludes tonight's Ed Ogeron Coaches Show. Right now, welcome to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Wednesday, September 4th. We're going to be going over tonight's breakdown, which is the New Orleans Saints, and also the Houston, Texas, which will be next Monday night, 6:10 Central Time. The game will be on once again on ESPN. If you have local TV, it most likely will be on Channel 6 or wherever. So they will feed it down to WDSU. So let's go ahead and play some press conferences. The Saints press conference. We'll play that tonight. We'll also play Coach Bill O'Brien. We'll have these during the season. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're waiting on, we're going to switch over. We're going to go to Sean Payton's press conferences today, talking about the game with the Saints and the Texas Texans this coming Monday. So let's begin. I'm going to get the broadcast audio stream set up. So let me go ahead and get my stuff up. Give me a second to get my I'm waiting on the waiting for everything to come up, so I should have my sound clips up in just a second. Let me get my sound clips going. We're waiting on I should be able to get a okay, this is the conference call. We'll play conference call with Coach Payton and also Coach Bill O'Brien from the Texans. So let me switch this over. So these are your conference calls that will be played during this during the 2019 football season on here. We'll have that on. So we're waiting on. We'll see if we got Sean Payton's press conference call audio feed up. I don't think we have it. So we most likely will play Coach Bill O'Brien. So I'm going to do that in a second. So we're waiting. So go ahead and set that up. And then we'll, because I don't think they have Sean Payton's conference call. So waiting on that. So let's go ahead, without further ado, let's play Coach O'Brien's conference call. He is from the Houston Texans, talking about his team, the Houston Texans. The two Houston Texans will take on the Saints. Let's go ahead and do that. waiting on the thing to load up. I don't know if I can grab it. I think it's blocked. Hold on. I don't think we'll grab it. So we'll play his press conference. So couldn't get his we'll play his press conference. So let's play it back. This is Coach O'Brien speaking to the media about the Saints game. So let's go ahead and do that.
You know, every year is different. We've always had to replace players every single year. So, you know, right now we're just in the midst of our game planning for the Saints, you know, and obviously not going to get into specifics about that. But, you know, we're working hard had a good practice yesterday, you know, and we got to kind of string another one together today.
Some thoughts about the Collins not going to make it like?
Yeah, you know, he's been a fun guy to coach since he arrived here. I mean, he's really a guy that works hard, takes a lot of pride in his role, you know, playing fullback on offense, and then his role on special teams, takes it very seriously, and shows up every day and works very hard. So he's been good.
Rotating position to have Jordan, losing those guys, and what you feel like will also.
Yeah, we just felt like relative to where they were health-wise and the amount of time that they would be out, we felt like it was in the best interest of the team where we were from a number standpoint at tight end to do that, and then, you know, obviously have the ability to possibly bring one or both of them back. You know, you're allowed to bring two guys back, so maybe we would do that so they could practice after 6 weeks and possibly bring them back after the 8th game. And then we signed Logan because we felt like without those two guys, we needed some help to be able to block the edge and do some things in the intermediate passing game. And he came in here yesterday and works hard. You can tell already, hard worker, tough guy, and learns well. So that's just something we felt like was in the best interest of the roster.
GQ article came out today or yesterday with Hopkins talking about 2017 and the Seattle Bob's comments, said he wasn't going to play. What role did you play during that time in getting the team together and make sure everybody was there?
I would tell you, John, I think, I'm just going to be honest with you. I think that it's 2019, and I think that this is the transition from training camp to football. Not that training camp's not real football, but this is football. We need to worry about, proper footwork, making the right read, getting lined up correctly, how we're going to compete, how we're going to, show up to play against really one of the top 4 teams in the league last year, a team that was a play away from the Super Bowl. I don't think we need to be looking back on anything. I think we just need to look forward and really concentrate on football. You know what I mean? I think if we start thinking about a lot of other things, and don't get me wrong, everything outside of football is what's going on in the world and things like that are very, very important, but I think it's time to really focus in on football.
Well, with everything you guys have going on in terms of football, how important is it for your team leaders to be even more in terms of being able to get guys going?
The new guys and things like that. Yeah, I mean, I think that, yesterday we had a good day. We had a busy day from early in the morning right through to the end, around 7-8 o'clock at night, relative to onboarding new players into our program that involved a lot of our veteran players, and one of the things I told the team was that we have several new players on the team, and we're counting on the leadership within this team. We have a number of really good leaders that have been here for a while, whether they've been here for 10 years or they've been here for a year. We've got some really good leaders that really understand how we do things, and they need to be a part of that process. If a guy has a question, how we do things, how we're lining up in this, or where a certain part of the building is, whatever it is, we have an expectation that our guys that have been around, our leaders, like you said, would be able to help, and I think those guys do a great job of that.
How would you say are your team's main leaders? And we hear about Watson, Watt and Mercis a lot, J. Joe, but is someone like Watson at that point where
Absolutely.
by example?
Yeah, I mean, we have guys like Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt and Jonathan Joseph and Dylan Cole and Brendan Scarlett and DeAndre Hopkins and John Weeks, Kaimi Fairbairn, A.J. Moore. DJ Reader, Bernardrick McKinney, I should have said him earlier. Number of really good leaders. Even some of the guys that have been here that got here during the offseason, Gibson, Justin Reed. So there's a lot of guys in there that have leadership ability, and they're doing a good job of helping these new guys acclimate.
The challenge of trying to contain Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Some would say he's the best. Some would say just
Yeah, he's a great player. I mean, he's got good size, good speed, very, very good route runner. He's got great chemistry with the quarterback, on the same page. I mean, the ball's in the air many times before he comes out of his break. He understands coverage. He understands leverage. He's got excellent hands. He's got it all. I mean, he's a great player, and it's going to be a big challenge for us.
Scarlett was injured a lot in college, and I think moved positions when he transferred to Stanford. What did you guys see out of him when you decided to pick him up as an undrafted guy?
He's a great team guy. That's number one. If you really, get to know him, he really just wants to do whatever it takes to help the team win. So he's got really good physical strength, toughness. He's improved. He works very hard to improve. He helps us on defense. Obviously, he helps us in the kicking game as a blocker on return units, and then as a cover player. And so he does a lot of different things for us. And I would say his number one quality is the type of person he is, the type of teammate he is. And, that's one of the main reasons why we decided to extend him.
I know that football's a team game, obviously, but do you get the sense that Deshaun puts a lot of pressure on himself to lead this team and to win games for you guys?
I get the sense that Deshaun Watson is the same guy every day. I think he's got a really good demeanor. I think that he's a calm guy. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a very hard worker, and he loves the team. He cares about his teammates. He's going to do whatever it takes to help the team win, whether it's preparation or taking care of his own body, or obviously, some of the things, all of the things that he does on the field. He's a very instinctive player. He's really improved in his knowledge in a lot of different areas. And I think the best thing about Deshaun is that he's the same guy every day. What you see is what you get, and that's really good.
Do you think his steadiness and consistency helps you guys?
I think it's good. I think anytime you have a guy at that position that has that type of demeanor, I think that's good. That's good for the team when they see that type of demeanor every single day.
Do anything differently this week? Because how Monday Night Football.
Long week.
All week. Did you get them ready for the atmosphere?
Certainly, we did something last night. You guys were out there. I think you saw some of it. If those of you that were there, just relative to crowd noise and all those different things. The Superdome, the great fans. It's going to be loud, so we're going to have to deal with that. So yeah, we started that last night, and we'll continue that tonight. And then the players will be off tomorrow. So usually Tuesday will be their day off during a normal week, but because of the Monday night, it'll be Wednesday, it'll be tomorrow, and then we'll continue to have kind of a normal game week starting Thursday. So, but we'll continue to do different things to get them ready to play in a road game.
Portions of the playbook that they have to learn. How, if at all, does that onboarding process you talked about differ from position to position?
I think that I think that's a great question. I think this is really something that Jack Easterby came in here, and he's done a great job of leading a lot of different departments relative to the onboarding. Everybody from everything from where to look for a house or an apartment to where the hospitals are, where everything is in the building, who does what in the building. Talk about the different departments and all those things they do, and then each department head would get up and talk a little bit about what their expectations are for their department with these new players, and the new players loved it. There was a lot of great feedback from it, and they feel like they're getting quickly acclimated to how we do things.
Bill, what makes Drew Brees and that Saints offense so difficult to stop?
Yeah, I mean they play at a great tempo. They're very disciplined. They don't make a lot of mistakes. they have great players with a Hall of Fame quarterback and a great play caller in Sean Payton. So, they've been doing it a long time together. They've been together for a long time. I think it's 2006. So you're talking about 13 years now that they've been together, and they know what to do. They know what to expect from each other, Drew and Sean, and they're a very disciplined unit, and we have to do a good job of getting lined up. They play very fast. We've got to do a great job of communicating, getting lined up, and doing the best we can to mix it up and be ready to go when the game starts. They start fast. They come out of the gates ready to go. They play very fast right from the start of the game, and we have to be ready for that.
You still have that group of veterans you used to have, that little committee that you used to meet with?
I have a group of guys that I meet with. Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that we did a lot of different team building activities during the off season and in training camp, and I think that so a lot of that is a bigger group than I had. Maybe you're referring back to when I first got here. So there are different groups of guys that I meet with. So it's just but there's definitely groups of players that it's hard for me to see every player every day, that's for sure. So I try to have different meetings with different groups. Obviously, I'm with the quarterbacks most of the time, relative to position. But we have a team meeting every day. They see me every day in front of the team and do the best I can to communicate.
How hard is it when you've got offensive linemen who've been hurt so much? Now you get a new one in Tunsil. They're trying to develop stability on the rock. How much harder is that for them?
I think health is always a challenge. I think everybody deals with health. I think that at every position, I think that's the nature of the game now. There's always, challenges relative to the health of different positions. Now, I think that our health, generally speaking, knock on wood, has been pretty good this preseason, so I think we're in pretty good shape, but looking at that position specifically, we'll work these guys back into practice. We had a good start to it last night. Looked like guys really had good recall from a couple days off, and then Laramie learns really well. So, Laramie comes from a system in Miami that's very similar to what we were doing. Chad O'Shea, being a coordinator there in Miami, Laramie had heard a lot of the terms, you know what I mean? So he's a very quick learner.
Communication that the linemen have to have more than most positions, as opposed to, say, a wideout who lines up wide. How tough is that to develop when they haven't had time together?
Yeah, I think that is a challenge, and I think that's where there's a lot of different ways to overcome that challenge. I would say the walkthrough rooms have been big. The different periods of practice. If you've been to our practices where we're in special teams period and the offensive line's over in the corner, they're working a lot of communication drills. And now with Laramie there, we're doing it double time. Laramie's been in here all day working with Mike, working with a couple guys, some of the veteran guys, Nick Martin, guys like that. So I think, look, at the end of the day, that's going to be a challenge early on here because he just got here. But I think that he's played a lot of football, and maybe what somebody calls an apple, we call an orange. You know what I mean? It's just different terms, but it's the same blocking assignment.
With some of you guys, and talk about the acclimation to your culture and all that sort of thing, but just actually like going on the field, playing the game together for the first time. How difficult is that of a challenge, and the thought about getting off to a faster start than last year?
Yeah, no, I think it's always challenging when you bring some new players onto the roster, and but these guys are smart. They've played a lot of football. Like I said, some of them come from a similar system, so they've heard a lot of the terminology. I think it's more about getting used to the new teammates that they'll be playing with. But that's kind of, for me in the NFL, that's a little bit about just personally how I grew up in the NFL. It was always roster churning, and I can remember when my first or second year in the NFL, guy came in second week. He was a left guard, and he came in on a Thursday because we had an injury, and he started on Sunday, and we won the game. So that's just part of the NFL. You know what I mean? Like that's what happens. It's different than college, where you have these guys all the time. That's part of it. The roster changes a little bit, and you have to be ready for that and be able to teach it and see how much they can pick up.
Your new backfield with Duke and Carlos, what do you see from that tandem? Are you excited about what you usually do there?
I think we have a diverse backfield set, a lot of different skill sets. You mentioned Duke and Carlos. Tywan Jones, he had a real good night last night. He's done a great job for us in the preseason on special teams. Buddy Howell and Cullen Gillespie, they're special teams performers, and then they have a certain skill set on offense. So it's definitely different than it was last year. There's a little bit more there. Losing Lamar obviously led us to have a chance to go get Carlos to help, that loss a little bit, but a lot of different skill there, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together.
How's your virtual reality room help you prepare, but you didn't have in the past?
Yeah, have you guys ever seen anything like that? Yeah, I'm sure you. Yeah. It's really pretty cool. I mean, it's a big wall where the camera, gives you basically the picture, not a live picture, but basically a game shot of what the front is, what the coverage is, and then, or if it's on defense, what the formation is, what the blocking scheme is, what the route is. And then the players stand there in front of it, and somebody's running the clicker, and then the play is run, and then they step to their assignments, and it's awesome. And the players love it. It gives you another teaching tool, so it's visual. I think things these days are very visual, right? These guys, they don't want to sit in meetings all day, and really neither do I. You know what I mean? I really don't want to sit in meetings all day either. I want to be up, moving around, and seeing it visual, and helping them see it. Okay, what do you see here? Hey, look at this. And so I think a lot of teams have it now, and Cal gave us some money to be able to go do that, and so we have one in the weight room and one down the hall near the offensive rooms, and they've been awesome.
I'm gonna tell you this about that visual stuff with the film study. That's a great teaching tool, to be honest with you, because that right there, well, you need those things. I don't care if it's in high school. I don't care if it's in college. I don't care if it's in the NFL. You might need one of those visual things, because everything right now you see is visual. See what I do on this show? We're going to be doing in just a few minutes. It's called film study. We do these films. We break down these films and stuff like that. I tell you to play, what happened and stuff like that. So we're going to begin doing that in just a second. Let me switch this over to YouTube. I'm about to switch this over, so give me a second to switch it over. Give me 1 second. We'll switch it over to the YouTube side. You're going to see another screen. We'll switch it out. So let me go ahead and put this one on the screen. So everything will be directly on the screen. So you will see everything that's going on. And I will tell you the exact play, what happened in this game. Let me go ahead and get some film. Let's go ahead and sign this in. Make this official. Waiting on everything to come up, and everything's on. So we're going to be doing some film study of the Houston Texans. I'm about to do that in just a second. We're going to go get some film from there. So let me go look for Houston films. Houston, Texas films. So let me do that. Go ahead and switch this over. Okay. Let's do this again. Houston, Texans. Okay, we're going to go over the Houston Texans film. We'll do some film studies. The last game we'll break down last game versus the Los Angeles Rams. So let me go ahead and switch this over. So we'll pull this in. I'm going to be pulling in the screen. Okay, let's start. Let's begin. I'm going to put this in theater mode so you'll be able to see it. Okay, let's begin. Houston on 4th and 6. They had 4 wide receiver sets. They have also 1 running back in the backfield. This was a shotgun formation. So you're going to be expecting this every time during the game on Monday night against the Saints. So you're going to be expecting these shotguns. Let's show you what happens on this play. Drops back, and there he goes. He had a good hold right there. So that's the key right there. We have to contain those holes. We have to make sure that we don't allow them to get big runs. Because if we allow them to get big runs, I guarantee you it's not going to be pretty. So we have to contain those holes. So that's Watson right there. That's him. He goes. That's a big game right there on that pass, on that run play. So once again, he's in that shotgun. He's going to make those plays now. Deshaun Watson will make those plays without a shadow of a doubt. So you have to be, your defense has to be on their toes at all times. So, okay, this is on first and goal situation. Two running backs in the backfield. They have, let's see, two wide receiver sets. So they're going into those two wide receiver sets. So this is on first and goal, goal line situation. So let's see what happens here. He drops back and he throws that little screen pass to number, looks like 89 gets it. 89, he threw it right to 89, and I'm gonna tell you that was a touchdown. So we have to cut those minimize the screen plays. We have to minimize that because that can be a deadly play right there for defenses to cover because that's a big, that's for big gains right there. So that was a touchdown by Adams. Adams, you have to cover him. So Watson was in the game. I don't know what's going on with this feed. So this is on, let's go, this is on, hold on. This is on 2nd and 14. The Rams are back to pass. But he throws that pass and they throw a completion right there. So that was good coverage right there. But I'm going to tell you, you could get some passes in those windows. That will help. That will help out the offense to stay on the field. So against the Texans defense. Okay, this is on, once again, this is on 1st and 10. Once again, they're in an I formation. They have one wide receiver on the left and one running back in the backfield. Let's see what happens here. This is on 1st and 10. He rolls out and he throws it, and that's a touchdown right there. So if you could strike first, that's what I'm insinuating. If you could strike first against the Texans defense, guess what? You can you'll be able to score early because you got to score early. Because they can get you into a shootout, and that's something we don't want. Is a shootout to win a game. So that's on that's a touchdown right there by the Rams. So that was in the preseason game number 4. That was one of their quarterbacks. I don't think Jared Goff was in there. So okay, this is on 1st and 20. The Houston Texans are on defense. The Rams are on offense. They have 3 wide receiver Frost, 1 running back, and the Texans was running let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 down linemen. So they're going to be running their 4 down linemen. Let's see what happens on this play. This is on 1st and 20. He drops back and he throws up low. So that was a good pick right there. So that's the word. That's something Drew Brees should not be doing against that Texas defense. So they covered that ball pretty well. So he dropped that pass, and that ball went right into the hands of that Texans defender. And that could be trouble right there. And that could be pick 6. So that's a word to the wise. Breeze, I know Breeze can do, can throw through those tight windows and stuff like that. But if you throw into those coverages, guess what? It's getting picked, and it's also most likely going to be returned for a touchdown. So that is a concern right there. On that drive right there. That was on 1st and 20. So that was a defensive interception. Okay, this is 1st and 10. Once again, I formation for the Texans. So they look like they're going to be a run play. Let's see what happens. And Deshaun Watson drops back, and that was a costly mistake. But the truth of the matter is that was beneficial to the Rams defense. That was absolutely beneficial to the Rams defense. So that's something you cannot do. You have to make those coverages. You have to disrupt their timing pattern. 99.9% of the time, if you disrupt those timing patterns, he will be off balance. So that's a scramble for it, and yep, that was a loss right there. That was an absolute loss right there. So that was a loss. So that was a boneheaded mistake by the quarterback, to be honest with you. This is on 1st and 10. Let me pause it. 1st and 10. They look like it's going to be a pass, and it is. He drops back. Looks like they're going to try to escape, and he gets it out to number 3 on that reception. So he gets it out to number 3. So that he had some pressure on him. He absolutely had pressure on him, but he got it out. So that's why I say, if Breeze can, he's going to come under duress in this game versus the Texans, because they can blitz and they can come in, they can disguise their formations. It could be either a 4-down, it could be either a 3-down lineman. And also, they could have an all-out blitz or something like that. That's something right there. They learned the hard way. So, it was 10-7. Okay, this was 1st and 10. They're back in the shotgun. So, the quarterback drops back, and he throws. And it was, yep, intercepted. So, that was good coverage right there. So, that's a word to the wise to Drew Brees. Don't throw into those coverages. Do not throw into those coverages, because if we have to catch those balls, I don't care if Michael Thomas have to leap up and catch the damn ball. He has to catch those balls, because if they don't catch those damn balls, guess what? It gets picked. And guess what? It would be returned for 6. So that's important for the Saints to understand. You cannot go in here and make mental mistakes. So that's the Texan fan. So let's see what happens, son. This is on 1st and 10. It's a running play, and they go up the so they gave up that big play. That was a big running play right there. So that was a running play. So if you can put up those running plays against that Texans defense, guess what? Either Kamara or Washington or Murray, you can make those significant runs. So that's something right there. It's the big plays. We have to put up some big plays against the Texans defense. Exactly. Okay, this is on 2nd and 9 situation. Sean Watson back at quarterback. He gets back. He throws it to his receiver. So he gets it off to number 18, and that's but he fumbles it. But he makes a good so this is 1st and 10. Deshaun Watson drops back. He will throw, and it is picked off. So good defensive play by the Rams. So that I say that was a good defensive play, exactly on time. So that was in the 3rd quarter. Okay, this is on 3rd and 3. 3rd and short 3, and they get in for the touchdown. So that was an easy run play right there for a touchdown. So that's a little right run play. So you could use that. So, but it's a flag. They go for a 2-point conversion. And they get in, they get in from the with the 2-point conversion. So it's a 15-10 game. They drop back, and then they get a touchdown. That was at the 14-10 mark in the 4th quarter to number 14. So I'm gonna tell you, look, that was Wolford. That's the quarterback for the Rams. Okay, the Texans back on offense. 2nd and 5. Looks like Watson goes down. So that's the thing. If you put pressure on Watson, he will go down. You have to put pressure on him. Because if you do not put pressure on Deshaun Watson, he's going to run all day long. So that's something right there. We have to do on the Saints defensive side. So we'll recap last Thursday's game. After this tape, we'll break it down for you. Okay, this is the run play by the Rams, and they get a fumble, and they're optimistics right there. They will get that fumble, so we cannot fumble the damn ball. It goes for Kamara, it goes for Murray, and it also goes for Washington if they get those carries. If they fumble that ball, that's going to be your end result right there. It's a turnover. And we cannot afford turnovers. Because if you have minus turnovers, guess what? You lose the game. 9 times out of 10. So the Texans got the football. So it was a good recovery. So their running game, they got a dramatic running. They got a damn good running game. So that on that last play, that was a damn good run play right there by the Texans. So we have to cut those guys off on those running games. So it was 22-10. It was 22-10 Rams. That was in the last preseason game. 2nd and 20 situation. Let's see what happens. He drops back. He's looking for a receiver, and he does get it picked. So he will throw picks. He will throw picks eventually. He will throw those picks in those games. That's something, look, it would help our defense if we get that ball back. Because he will throw those picks into those tight windows and into those coverages. So that's the thing we have to look out for in that game. If Deshaun Watson throws into those coverages, that will be a great opportunity to get the football back. So, without a shadow of a doubt. So, that is the the Houston and we'll break down the Miami game from last week. We'll do the Saints and the Miami Dolphins breakdown from last week. So I'm going to go over to the Saints and Miami Dolphins recap from last Thursday night's game. So we'll recap that game. So we'll go ahead and recap what happened in that game. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this squared away. So we'll be able to send it in. Okay, yes, last Thursday's night's game was the Saints versus Dolphins. I was not doing the play-by-play. I was doing the Tulane versus FIU game. So we're going to recap this game from last Thursday, Saints versus Dolphins. Okay, this is on 1st and 10. Miami got the ball. That's 3rd and 8, excuse me. That was at the 13:56 mark. 3rd and 8 situation. Miami is on offense. Saints on defense. They was in the shotgun. They had let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers set. 1 running back in the backfield. See what happens. This is on 3rd and 8. They drop back and they throw a perfect reception right there. So that should have been a broken up pass right there. That should have been a broken up pass, but at least that the Saints players was there making that coverage. So that was unfortunately that was a first down. So Wilson makes the catch. This was what happened last week. Number 9 just goes right through that Saints D-line. That's something we cannot be doing. It's allowing those runs. Can't allow those runs. Because if you allow those runs, that's going to result in big plays. And that's something we cannot afford to do. So that was a big foul up right there. Okay, field goal situation. So that was good. The Saints defense covered on 3rd down. So it's field goal situation. Okay, this is on 1st and 10. Miami back on offense. So they throw. Their quarterback throws a pass and good defensive. So that's 2nd and 9. It's up for 2nd and 9, and Miami drops back, throws another pass, and it was a good cover. Not a good coverage right there by the Saints defenders. Not making tackles, so we have to clean that up. Exactly. They drop back and they throw a pass. Looks like he's going to pass. So he runs. So it's a running play. So they get a few yards on that. They get a few yards on that running play right there by the quarterback. So we have to cover those. Okay, this is on 1st and 10 situation. Saints on offense. Let's see what happens. Good run by number 32, Izigaboo. I'm very happy what he did. This young man, Divine Izigaboo. He has shown that he can be on an NFL roster without a shadow of a doubt. So that's. This is another play we're showing you. Okay, Saints. So it was Bridgewater. It looks like he was in the. So it's a good catch. Good catch by Little Jordan Humphreys for the reception. I don't know what's going on with this feed. I'm kind of. This stream is. I might have to get another one. So we'll have to get another one. Sorry about that. I mean, I think this stream's a little messed up, so we're gonna go to another stream. I'm gonna see if I can find another film. Sorry about that, folks. That was that. So we have to get another film. So I'm gonna go ahead and get another film on it. So let me do that. Let me get the film. Apologize for the because sometimes these videos are so crazy and stuff like that. They act crazy. So Saints versus Dolphins. I'm about to switch over to another video. So I'm going to because I want to switch over to another video, a better video. So I want to switch the video over. So this is so once again we're just gonna go over to another video because the video's kind of acting loosey. Let's go ahead and switch it back over. So once again, apologize because the video is a little tainted. Okay, this is let's go back to go back to the defensive play. Switch it back over, wind it back. So that was a touchdown. So we're going to show you what happened on the offensive side for the Saints. Okay, this is on goal line situation. First and goal for the Saints. 2 running backs in the backfield. Let's see what goes on. Handoff. That was Taysom Hill when he gets the touchdown. So that was, let's see who that was. So that was a touchdown run right there. So great run by the Saints running game. I think that was Rodgers. Okay, this is on a 4th and 5 situation. With 47 seconds left to play in the game. Saints are trying to score. Let's see what happened. So it's a drop back. He tries to throw and nope. So it was broken up. Pass was broken up. So unfortunately, that was some of the highlights of the Saints and Dolphins game. So once again, I was very impressed with Isaiah. But we'll break down the stats and stuff like that in just a few moments. So let me switch this out. Hold on for 1 second. I'm about to switch it out. Let's go ahead and give you the stats from last week's games. The Miami Dolphins game and the Saints. I'm about to do that in 1 second. So let me do that. You can talk amongst yourselves while we're set these up. So we're about to set these up, and I also will give you the stats from last week from the Saints and Dolphins game. Let me switch it over. I don't know why. We're waiting on the scores to come up, so I'm trying to get some box scores from last week. So let me do that. I don't know why I'm slow. Waiting on the yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on. Shit. Hold on. We're gonna have to try to, because this Google Chrome does not, this thing's not working right. I don't know why we're getting a single feedback. So let me switch this over. Sorry about that, folks. We're trying to get the live box scores up, so we apologize. So please don't get upset. We're trying to get this all figured out, so please don't get upset. Just please bear with me. I'm trying to get these things to be set up right. So let me do that, and I'll get the box scores back up in just a few moments. This screen looks like it's whopping. What the hell is going on? Why am what is going on? Why am I'm gonna have to turn this off. Okay, we're sorry. Tonight we're having a little issues with our stream, so we're gonna cut this off for a little while. So once again, thank you for joining us for Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show. Right now I'm having a little problems with my stream, so just anyone, please, if you're in here, please don't get upset. We're trying to get this resolved and stuff like this, so please don't get upset. I know you want to, if you want to leave, that's fine, because we have to fix this. I don't know what's going on with the stream. I'm not happy about this. We're having issues. Let's go ahead and turn this back off.